everybody, it is me, Anthony Dodge, the Model Train Outsider, and here with a quickie mail call because this just arrived 5 minutes ago. So let me open it up and show you what I got. Like most mail calls, I already know what's in here, but I don't know, I kind of like to share it with people that enjoy the suspense of seeing what's there. I'm really eager to see what this is like, and then you can get a live reaction. This has been something I bought over a month ago, and it's just now arriving. It's been delayed in customs in a couple of different countries, and yay, of all the wrappings in the world, probably the least favorite because this gets everywhere, but I am going to try to do it without spilling too many. Not bad, not bad. Alright, let's move the box and set the bag down. Alright, well, definitely well packed, but I will say this box felt lightweight for what is in here. And layers upon layers upon layers. Kind of hard to do a quickie when there's so many layers to peel through. Alright, now I bought this, not specifically this one, but I bought this based on suggestions. And what I have here is, I have, let's see if I can put it up here and the camera will focus on it quickly. I have bought another steam locomotive. I know, I'm crazy. In fact, technically, I wanted to blame Joyce for this. But because she was the one who had me buy those Fleischmann cars back at the Greater Berea train show. I think it was back in October we went to that, and we found a German dealer, and he had some cool looking wagons, and Joyce said, oh, just buy those. And I was like, okay, but then we needed a matching locomotive, and I didn't plan on doing it, but I did. And so as you can see, this is the Märklin 34988. It's the hobby range, which means although Märklin no longer officially signifies the hobby range, it's still there. So this is their lower level, less detailed, let's say, and it's also an older model. I believe this goes back to 2003. And it's supposed to be in like new condition, and look at that in the box. That is definitely very sharp. I really like the coloring there. So I'm going to go ahead and take it out of the box real quick. Hey, and before you say it, yes, my shirt has changed because I was originally going to do this as two separate videos, a mail call and a closer look video, and instead I just decided to splice it all as one. So we are going to take a closer look at this BR8. At the end of its career, I believe it was a class 038. These actually stayed in use into the early 1970s, according to a couple of things I read in the manual that came with this. So that's impressive. That's 70 plus years of service. But anyhow, we're going to take a closer look at this out of the box. Now this is a new experience for me, and I will just explain a bit now and just show you a quick video of what I'm talking about. First of all, this is an all-metal chassis and body and shell, so that's interesting. But although this is their hobby line, and I'll try to show that up, and I think Märklin still has the nomenclature hobby line, but really it seems like most things that were once hobby line are now in what they call their startup realm, because I do not see any of their new packaging ever say hobby, even when it's at their lower price points. but maybe it's still a divisional thing. Anyhow, somebody might clarify that for me. This is now the oldest locomotive I own. This, I believe, came out in the year 2000 and was first mentioned in the 2000 New Items catalog. But it had, I think, 3 runs, because it's mentioned in 2000, 2001, and 2002. So the earliest model I have before this, in terms of actual production age, is the Blue Rheingold, the Bavarian Rheingold, which was a 2003 model. So that one's 20 years old. This one is beats it by 2 to 3 years, depending on when it was actually released. I did not find that information. But anyhow, this is part of the Märklin Delta, and I can't really tell you a lot about Märklin Delta, except it was a pseudo cross between digital and analog. And in fact, this locomotive is designed to work both analog and digital. It has a delta decoder in it, which I will show in the video. And when the decoder is in the off state, the train works analog. You put it on the track and automatically powers up. And as I'm saying this, I have not run it in yet, but I have loaded it into my Central Station 3. And so when I first put it on the programming track, as soon as I powered, because you have to have the power on to read the chip or to even program it, it started running. And I had read the instructions, and I knew that it would be base set in analog, because this Loco, even though it's listed as used, according to the owner, it was never taken out of the box. They have to list it as used because part of the packaging had been opened. But according to the owner, it had never been oiled, it had never been run in. So I looked at the manual how to take it apart. I took it apart. The gears looked good. Everything was clean. There was no sign of Maserot or anything else. In fact, it looked like it came off a production line yesterday. So very pleased to see that it was in such great shape. And so it's new for me. Now it has, even though it's quote digital, it has no functions. The lights work like lights on an analog train. When you turn power on, the lights come on as you speed it up. Now, if there's a setting in the decoder that allows you to control the lights digitally, it does not say so in the instruction manual that I have. So I'm assuming that's just static state, that it's, even though you can run it on a digital layout system, the lights are just automatic. So anyhow, let's take a closer look at this, and first I'll show you how I had to set the decoder. Actually, I'll show you the decoder. I was not going to try to film while trying to adjust that little microchip in it. And then I'm going to run it in, and then we will give it its final look in. All right. Okay, so I have taken the shell off, which just involved one screw in what looks to be, one of the top boiler points. I don't know my nomenclature for that stuff. And then what you do is, there is a little decoder right here. This is an old original decoder, and what I have to do is activate this. If I can get this to zoom in a bit. Right now it is set to analog mode, which means when I put it on the track, it will automatically just run with no controlling of the speed with the system I have. And I just have to set an address on this decoder, and then I will be able to control it with my Central Station 3. So I will change that, put it back together, and then put it on the track. All right, so here is a closer look at my PR8 Baden locomotive, which is now technically the oldest locomotive I own. Very nice detailing. Very nice detailing for what it is. Let's make that. All metal body. It does have functioning lights, but it has to be in motion. It still has sort of that analog style working. But very nice detailing, all metal body. Again, this is their hobby level, which was their lower, sort of cheaper end. So it's not going to have all the fanciest detailing. The KPEV logo. And this will work great with those cars that Joyce picked out when we were at the Berea Train Show back in October, I think it was. So not a lot of things to show off. So I will run this in and then we will see it in action and see if it will handle the incline, although I suspect I will not be running this much on the incline. So I've gone and placed it over at the Dumb and Horse station so you can see it in the distance here. I've tried to zoom in a bit so you can really see it. And we're going to start it, and we're going to start it at a little faster than maybe normal. I'm going to start it at 70 kilometers an hour and just see how it handles it on first run. But you can hear that noise, especially at that speed. So we're just going to let it find itself here. Like I said, it's a little noisy. I oiled it to run it in, and then I gave it just a little bit more oil. And to be honest, I think it's the tender more than the locomotive that's making all that noise. So here it goes up the hill. It's on the incline. Wow, I didn't see anything. Now, normally I go slow. Nowadays, most things are in the cold box tender, but this, everything is in the locomotive itself. And so there it goes, and even at slower speed, it's handling going up that incline just fine. So noisy, and I hope that noise is nothing bad, but like I said, I really think that is in the trailing coal wagon and not the locomotive itself. I'd probably have to take the coal wagon off. But there it is. All right, so that was my Prussian KPEV Class 8 PR8 Baden locomotive that I picked up off of eBay from Germany. It was on American eBay, but it was from Germany. And well cared for. Obviously, those of you who know these things better than me might listen and say, oh, hey, that sound it's making, you need to adjust that. And if so, please leave a comment. It ran smoothly. Clearly, there is a speed issue, but this thing was designed and built for a different type of Märklin, even digital system. That was this is before Central Station came out. I think it's before Mobile Station came out. It's their Delta system, and I'm sure that if I had the ability, I could switch out the decoder and put in a more modern decoder with it, at least to some degree. But the lights are clearly not wired into anything. They are it's one bulb that shines through those three lights, and it is just wire connected to some metal that goes down to the pickup. So I don't think the lights are connected to the decoder at all. But overall, for its age and its lack of use, I like it. I think it's for a steam locomotive. It's very sharp. Steams are not my favorite, but it definitely is going to fit in with my other locomotives. It's going to work with those Prussian cars, and so I'm hoping it will be in Friday's live stream running one of the short circuits. I don't know if I'll do a Steamapalooza and start running everything steam, but I might just save that for the traditional Christmas time later this year. But anyhow, so that was a 2-day combination of mail call and a look at, I don't want to call it a review, a look at my new used locomotive. I did not weigh it. I don't know where the scale went. Joyce must have reclaimed it and put it somewhere in the kitchen. And, oh, speaking of mail call, do some poor camera work. James Dalton, Dundas Road Junction, is doing a sticker exchange. So he sent me a letter and a couple of his Dundas Junction, not Dundas Road. Let's let that focus in, I hope. Junction Model Railroad. There we go. There we go. So from his new house that he bought late last year and has moved into. So really cool. I got to send mine off. I meant to do it today, but I got distracted. I was supposed to be babysitting my grandson today, and that got called off at the last second. And so I was prepping for my grandson, and then I've been working on my Matt Clark stuff. So I can hopefully have those out in the mail either later today or tomorrow back to James. And everybody is starting to get in on the sticker exchange, which is great. So let me know, and I can send you some of my send you a couple of my model train outsider stickers, and we can do sticker exchanges. So anyhow, I'm waffling and babbling here. So until my next video, I will say Auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, and happy trains. Take care, everybody.